Hi you guys, welcome to this video and welcome to my channel if you are new here. My name is Kristin, I'm a channeler and intuitive, and on my channel I do share a lot of the messages that are coming through in channeling so that they can assist you on your journey. So I hope you will get help from what you can find here. Now in this video I will share the part 2 of a channeling that I did a couple of weeks ago, and the part 1 you can find a link in the description box to the video on that. I talked about some topics that were initiated at the solar eclipse we had in April, the main themes for the rest of this year, and also talked about the 2-year cleanup that I mentioned. Now today we will talk about the physical body, because the physical body is changing a lot. And what is important to remember is that our bodies are shifting whether we think of them or not. Our cells, all the cells in our bodies are changing. There's a lot of pressure with all the light coming in on our physical body, and that makes it so that the cells starts changing. So you can think of this a bit like a diamond, right? We are small diamonds, there's a lot of pressure, cells are shifting, it's becoming more crystalline. Now this is a process that takes time, it takes years and years, but we are in it. And so what's important to remember is that our cells will change whether we think of it or not. We don't have to tell our cells to change. Now what we have to be aware of is to be in the present moment and to be embodied. It's becoming more and more important to be embodied. And what is that? That is to actually be present in our bodies. It's to be in our bodies when there are thoughts arising, when there are emotions arising, when there are situations in our lives. Instead of denying or escaping or trying to opt out or use all our coping mechanisms, we are instead choosing to be in the body and meet life as is. Now, we, as I said, don't need to think about ourselves changing, but we need to be present in our lives, because then we are clearing whatever needs to be cleared. We are assisting our body on the journey to shift. But the shift in and of itself is not something that we need to tell our bodies to do. That happens interconnected with everything that is going on. Now what we need is more people, they said in this channeling, to focus on the body. So if you're a practitioner, or if you're becoming a practitioner, become very, very acutely aware of the importance of embodiment. And also, if you're not a practitioner and you're just, walking around, they said actually in the channeling that think of every meeting with another person as energy work. And you need to be in your body. Meet other people, whether it's when you're waiting for the bus, or whether it's in a session with a client, or whether it's in the grocery store, or whether it's, on the beach, or whatever kind of situation where you're meeting another person. Meet that person with finding your breath, being in the body and present in the meeting point. That is helping and shifting a lot. And imagine if more and more people would have that awareness, how much that could help shifting. Because when we have that presence and when we choose to be in our bodies, everything that needs to be cleared, to be changed, to be activated, it happens much more quickly and with so much less resistance. And so it becomes more of a joyful experience, less of a painful and sort of suffering experience. Now, this is obviously a work of psychology, it's a work of emotion, it's a work of energy, and it's a work of the physical body. And working with the physical body now in movement is very, very helpful. So for example, there will be, they said, quite a lot of people that will experience health challenges. And this is because all the energy, all the light that is coming into the body is sort of hitting on those old patterns, those old emotions that we have deeply buried, and old thought forms that are no longer in alignment for who we actually are. So it's about becoming more and more of who you are, more and more really, really authentic. Be you with all that you are, not only what you have learned that is okay, everything, all that you are. Face yourself and be yourself when you're meeting the world. Now, when it comes to health challenges, the first thing we have to look at, I said, is the resistance. And if you watch the first video on this channeling, you can see that there's a link here with the resistance, because it talked about this 2-year cleanup, which has to do with the human resistance to polarity, because we are in a field where there is polarity. And we see that in all of our experiences and in how we view the world. So if you have health challenges, look at your resistance. That is like a good starting point when you're working with your body to regain balance and restore health. And for example, if you are... Now, when I was in this channeling, I had a beautiful person asking questions when I was in a trance state. So thank you, Victoria, for that. She is a yoga teacher, and so they used the example of yoga and talked about whether you're practicing yoga or whether you are in sort of a teaching situation, that when you meet resistance, when something is stopping, whether you just feel that resistance, like going into a position and there's like it stops at some point, then go a little bit back and really breathe and feel into the emotional and the mental level. Where is the resistance actually happening? So working with this and having that awareness, bringing the movement and the emotion and the mental together is very important. And it's nothing new. This is something that many people are aware of, but it's becoming more and more important. And when we do work with the body in movement, and we work with all these parts and really work to be deeply embodied, also when we are meeting resistance, the things will change much more rapidly than it previously have. Now, they said that when we are holding on to a thought form that is no longer in alignment, there is a need of a shake-up. So that can be shake-ups on the world stage, it can be shake-ups in our personal lives that make us aware of this, that we need to become aware of, to change, to shift. Because, and I have talked about this in a previous video, I don't remember the title, but I will find it and I will link that one too in the description box, where I talked about something that I said in the channeling about the neural pathways, with all this light and all this energy that is coming into our bodies now, with the solar flares and everything, all these cosmic energies, and they're moving through our brains and the neural pathways. So we have these neural pathways in our brain, and we have this, it's like highways, right? Just moving the same way in the same pattern every day in, day out. And then when these energies are coming in and it's moving through an old pattern that is ready to be changed, whether we are aware of it or not, they can break open, because it's not solid enough to take the energy that is coming up. Now, in the moment where it breaks, we will most probably become aware of that pattern, or that that thought pattern, that emotion, whatever it is that is driving that neural pathway. But the more aware we are of it, and the more we consciously work on shifting the neural pathways, the less of a shock it may be. But this will start happening more and more, no matter whether we're conscious of it or not, which means that more and more people will also awaken, as we normally term it. Now, as the light and the energy that is moving through an old pathway that isn't aligned with the stream of consciousness that they are, it will break. And remember that if you are resisting, it's so important to ground all this energy, right? The cosmic energy coming in, and also the stream of consciousness that you are. So the soul, the light that you are, no matter what term you usually use on that. But that energy, when that comes in, ground that through into the body, through the body and into the earth. So ground. Get your feet on the earth. Get your hands on the earth. Use whatever tools you have, be in the nature, I mean, whatever tool you have that works for you for grounding, and learn some more so we have some variation. But really grounding is super important. Now, if you don't ground the energy that is coming through the body, you are both resisting actually the stream of consciousness that you are. So the intention you had before coming into this body, that was to bring that stream of consciousness in. That is what gives life to this body. So the human, you know, is the physical body, which is of the earth. And yes, it also contains, you know, bits and pieces from the cosmos, but then remember that Mother Earth is a part of the cosmic community, right? So that makes up the physical body. Now, together with the physical body, we need the life force energy, we need the stream of consciousness. So this combination of the grounded, the physical vessel, and this light that you are coming into the physical vessel creates the human. Now, if you resist who you truly are, if you resist your truth, if you resist who you intended to be, if you resist all of that, you are actually resisting yourself. And that will start creating, the more we do that, it will start creating more and more shakeups in our lives. Now, what's important to know as well, that I really went into in this channeling, is that you will also actually be resisting Mother Earth. So by choosing not to embody, you are actually resisting Mother Earth. Because we have a contract as well at this time of bringing these cosmic energies through our bodies. And if we resist doing that, because it's supposed to, you know, just not just be in the body, so it's the same. And I talked about this in a video. Well, I can link that one as well, with the immune system and the solar flares and the eclipses, about how our immune system and how, like, the way we think of it, the way we perceive it, the way we work with the incoming energies is important for how our vessel is actually taking it through. So if you are in a resistance to whatever new energy is coming in, it will be much more difficult for us because we are resisting this. So this has to do with the same, right? But because we are actually more and more in the time coming, becoming more important for Mother Earth as a way of moving energy. So if we are resisting the energies coming through that are supposed to go through our physical vessel, that we are assisting in bringing in and bringing into the earth, because Mother Earth herself is changing. She is on an evolutionary journey as well, just like we are. She is shifting in consciousness as well. She's a conscious being. And so if we resist helping and assisting her in that, as we have contracted to do at this time, we are actually, this has to do with also the electromagnetic field and the ley lines, but then we are, if we are resisting this energy, we are actually creating more of an imbalance on the earth, and that as well is or will be a part of more earthquakes, actually, because it creates an imbalance in the energy. And then it's like there needs to be a shake-up in a very physical, literal way in order to balance the energies. And let me just check my notes so I'm not forgetting anything. Yes. So, with embodiment, they said, start thinking of your body as a ley line. Whether you're doing energy work, like I said, be in the body. And remember that you're always bringing energy through your body. And Mother Earth is currently growing beyond the old system of the ley lines. Now, the ley lines can be manipulated. And so when we see, and this is something they started talking about actually, I think a couple of years ago, that the animals will start walking different paths on this planet. This has to do with the ley lines that started to shift. Now, also, I think around a couple of years ago, they mentioned this in this channeling as well, that there was a lot of talk about the new grid, the new Earth grid. And what they said is that there was this old grid, and then the new grid was created as a bridge, really. So which was called the new grid is a bridge into the new way that the energy will be moving on this planet. And the human body is a big part of the movement of this energy. So we are bringing much more of this energy and the way it's moving on the planet in the time coming than what it has been. And I said that the body is a power center that the human are not nearly fully aware of yet. So they are just, it's just so much focus on embodiment, being in the body. Don't hold back on being who you are. You are assisting not only yourself, but the human collective and Mother Earth, and really the whole cosmic community, by being you, by becoming more and more of who you are, by letting go of more and more of who you are not, and to choosing to be in the body also when it's challenging. Also when there are things coming up, when there are emotions, when there are thoughts, remembering that you're not your emotions, you're not your thoughts. Take a step back, breathe into your body, connect with the nature, allow yourself to actually be in your body, to feel your body, because you are residing in this body for a period, and this is what you intended. So whatever can bring you closer, ask yourself, really feel into it. What can bring me closer in a connection with my physical body? What makes you want to be in the body? And be aware when you're meeting another person. Find your breath and meet that person in full presence, because you are moving energy constantly. You don't need to think of it, you just are. You just need to be aware of your presence. Choose embodiment. I hope this was helpful information for you. If you enjoyed this video, please pass it along. That's very helpful. Like, subscribe, share. That helps the videos to circulate and really supports my work. So I appreciate everyone doing that. And also, any questions, any comments, I'd be happy to read. I will see you in the next video. There will be a part 3, which will be on thought forms from this channeling. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.